Have you ever felt like people are starting to ignore you? Maybe they don't text back as quickly as they used to, or they suddenly seem distant. It can be frustrating, confusing, and even painful. But why does this happen? And more importantly, what can you do about it? In this video, we'll explore the key reasons why people start ignoring you and how to turn things around. Sometimes, people don't ignore you on purpose. It could be that certain behaviors, which you may not even be aware of, are pushing them away. 1. Talking too much or too little. When someone distances themselves due to feeling hurt, it's often a complex interplay of emotions and perceived threats. The hurt might stem from a seemingly minor comment, a forgotten promise, or a pattern of behavior that conveys a lack of consideration. For instance, a casual joke that targets a sensitive insecurity can create a deep sense of vulnerability and betrayal. Similarly, consistently failing to acknowledge their contributions or dismissively brushing aside their concerns can erode their sense of value within the relationship. The decision to distance themselves, rather than confront the issue, is often rooted in a desire to protect themselves from further emotional pain. They might perceive confrontation as futile, believing that their concerns will be dismissed or minimized. They might also fear the potential for escalation, anticipating that a direct conversation will lead to conflict or further hurt. Furthermore, they may lack the emotional bandwidth or communication skills to articulate their feelings effectively, opting for silence as a safer alternative. This distancing can manifest in various ways, such as withdrawing from social interactions, reducing communication frequency, or creating emotional barriers. The individual might become more guarded, less willing to share their thoughts and feelings, and less invested in maintaining the connection. This withdrawal is a form of self-preservation, a way to create space and time to process their emotions and assess the future of the relationship. The pain is not always visible, but the effects of it are always present. 2. Being negative all the time. The absence of an apology, or a genuine attempt at resolution, can solidify feelings of hurt and resentment, leading to distancing. This lack of closure leaves the injured party in a state of emotional limbo, where the unresolved issue festers and erodes trust. The perceived indifference implied by the absence of an apology can be more damaging than the initial offense itself. When someone expects an apology, they are seeking validation for their feelings and a recognition of the harm caused. It's a fundamental human need to have their pain acknowledged and to feel that their experience matters. Without this acknowledgement, they may feel dismissed, invalidated, and even further victimized. The lack of resolution creates a sense of imbalance in the relationship, where one person's feelings are prioritized over the others. The waiting for an apology becomes a form of emotional purgatory. Each passing day without acknowledgement reinforces the feeling that their pain is insignificant or that the other person doesn't care. This can lead to increased feelings of isolation and a sense of being undervalued. Furthermore, the unresolved issue can cast a shadow over all future interactions, making it difficult to rebuild trust and intimacy. Reflecting on potential wrongdoings and taking proactive steps to mend fences is crucial. Even if you believe your actions were justified, considering the other person's perspective and acknowledging their hurt can go a long way in restoring the relationship. Sometimes, even if there is an attempted resolution, if the apologizer does not show that they will change the behavior that caused the issue, the hurt party will still distance themselves. 3. Not respecting boundaries. The concept of personal space extends beyond physical proximity. It encompasses emotional and mental boundaries as well. Violating these boundaries, whether through excessive communication, unwanted physical presence, or emotional demands, can trigger a sense of overwhelm and invasion. Excessive calling or texting, especially without regard for the other person's schedule or availability, can create a feeling of being smothered. Similarly, uninvited appearances can disrupt their sense of control over their own environment and time. Demanding too much attention, whether through constant neediness, excessive venting, or monopolizing conversations, can drain the other person's emotional resources. They may feel pressured to constantly cater to your needs, leaving them with little energy for their own well-being. This imbalance can lead to resentment and a desire to create distance. The need for personal space is not a reflection of dislike or rejection, it's a fundamental human need for autonomy and self-preservation. Recognizing and respecting these boundaries is essential for maintaining healthy relationships. Failing to do so can lead to a gradual withdrawal, as the other person seeks to protect their own emotional and mental well-being. They might start screening your calls, delaying responses, or avoiding situations where they might encounter you. This distancing is a way to reclaim their sense of control and create a safe space for themselves. Relationships are dynamic and subject to change. People's interests, priorities, and life circumstances evolve over time, leading to natural shifts in social dynamics. As individuals grow and change, their paths may diverge, resulting in a gradual drifting apart. This isn't necessarily a sign of animosity or conflict, but rather a natural consequence of life's transitions. For example, someone might change careers, move to a new city, or start a family, which can significantly alter their social circles and priorities. These changes can lead to less frequent contact and a gradual fading of the connection. Similarly, people's interests and hobbies can change over time, leading to a decrease in shared activities and common ground. Sometimes, people simply outgrow each other. What was once a compatible friendship or relationship may no longer feel fulfilling or meaningful. This can be due to changes in values, perspectives, or life goals. The relationship may feel stagnant or lacking in depth, leading to a sense of disconnect. It's important to recognize that these shifts are a natural part of life and not necessarily a reflection of personal failure. Accepting that relationships evolve and sometimes fade can help navigate these transitions with grace and understanding. While it can be painful to lose a connection, it's essential to respect the other person's journey and allow them the space to grow and change. You're right to highlight the significant role that digital interactions play in modern relationships. Social media has become an integral part of how we connect, maintain friendships, and express ourselves. However, it also introduces a new layer of complexity to communication, and the nuances of online behavior can be easily misinterpreted. Let's delve deeper into how digital interactions can lead to distancing. 1. Digital overload. The digital age has ushered in an era of constant connectivity. Our smartphones and devices keep us tethered to a relentless stream of information, notifications, and messages. This constant bombardment can lead to a state of digital overload, where individuals feel overwhelmed and mentally fatigued. Imagine receiving hundreds of notifications a day from various apps, social media platforms, and messaging services. This constant influx of information can strain attention spans, increase stress levels, and make it difficult to prioritize or respond to every interaction. In this context, someone's failure to respond to a message or interact with a post might not be a deliberate snub, but rather a symptom of digital exhaustion. People develop different coping mechanisms for managing digital overload. Some may silence notifications, limit their time on social media, or selectively engage with certain platforms. Others might simply become less responsive overall, prioritizing their mental well-being over the pressure to maintain constant online engagement. It's crucial to remember that online behavior doesn't always reflect real-life intentions. Someone who seems unresponsive online might be dealing with personal challenges, work demands, or simply a need to disconnect and recharge. Attributing their lack of digital engagement to personal dislike or disinterest can be a misjudgment. In a world saturated with digital stimuli, it's essential to cultivate empathy and understanding. Recognizing that others may be experiencing digital overload can help us avoid taking their online behavior personally and foster more patient and compassionate communication. 2. Unbalanced online interaction. Healthy relationships, whether online or offline, thrive on reciprocity and mutual effort. When interactions become consistently one-sided, it can create an imbalance that leads to resentment and withdrawal. This dynamic is particularly evident in the digital realm. If you consistently find yourself initiating conversations, liking and commenting on their posts, and reaching out while receiving little to no engagement in return, it can signal an imbalance in the relationship. The other person might perceive this one-sidedness as pressure to reciprocate, even if they don't have the time, energy, or inclination to do so. This can lead to them pulling away to avoid feeling obligated or overwhelmed. Furthermore, a lack of reciprocation can lead to feelings of insecurity and self-doubt. You might begin to question your own worth or the value of the relationship, wondering if the other person genuinely cares. This can create a sense of anxiety and distress, further contributing to the imbalance. It's important to observe patterns in online interaction. Are they responsive to others but not to you? Do they engage with your content sporadically or never at all? These clues can provide insights into the dynamics of the relationship. While it's natural to desire connection and validation, it's crucial to avoid forcing interactions or placing undue pressure on others. If you consistently find yourself in unbalanced online interactions, it might be worth reevaluating the relationship and adjusting your expectations accordingly. 3. Perceived annoyance. Online communication offers convenience and accessibility, but it also carries the risk of overstepping boundaries and causing annoyance. Certain online behaviors can be perceived as intrusive, disruptive, or even harassing, leading to distancing. Spamming someone with messages, whether through direct messages, group chats, or multiple platforms, can quickly become overwhelming. Constant notifications can disrupt their workflow, interfere with their personal time, and create a sense of being bombarded. Similarly, tagging someone excessively in posts or photos, especially without their consent or relevance, can be perceived as intrusive and attention-seeking. Flooding someone's inbox with unsolicited content, such as memes, links, or chain messages, can also lead to annoyance. While some people enjoy sharing content, others prefer to keep their inbox focused on important communications. Bombarding them with irrelevant or unwanted information can create a sense of being overwhelmed and disrespected. Online behavior that is perceived as attention-seeking or self-centered can also lead to distancing. Constantly posting about oneself, seeking validation through likes and comments, or monopolizing online conversations can create a sense of imbalance and drain the energy of others. It's crucial to be mindful of online etiquette and consider the impact of your actions on others. Before sending a message, tagging someone, or sharing content, ask yourself if it's relevant, respectful, and likely to be appreciated. Avoiding behaviors that are perceived as annoying or intrusive can help foster positive online interactions and prevent unnecessary distancing. Now that we've covered the reasons, let's talk about solutions. If you feel like people are ignoring you, here's what you can do. 1. Self-reflect without self-blame. Initiate a thoughtful, unbiased self-assessment. Avoid immediate self-criticism. Instead, objectively consider your recent actions. Have you inadvertently crossed boundaries, been overly demanding, or missed subtle cues of disinterest? Also, acknowledge that external factors unrelated to you could be influencing their behavior. This balanced approach helps identify potential areas for improvement without fostering unnecessary guilt. 2. Give them space. Resist the urge to constantly reach out. Overpursuit can intensify feelings of being overwhelmed. Allow them the time and space to process their emotions or address their personal matters. This demonstrates respect for their autonomy and creates an opportunity for them to reconnect on their own terms. 3. Improve communication. Initiate a gentle, non-confrontational conversation. Choose a calm, private setting and express your concerns without accusations. A simple, empathetic inquiry can open the door for clarification and resolution. Be prepared to listen actively and validate their feelings, even if you disagree. 4. Work on yourself. Identify and address any problematic behaviors that may be contributing to the distancing. Focus on developing essential interpersonal skills, such as active listening, empathy, and boundary awareness. Cultivate a balanced conversational style, avoiding excessive negativity or self-centeredness. Personal growth benefits all your relationships. 5. Accept and move on. Recognize that relationships naturally evolve and sometimes end. If attempts at reconciliation are unsuccessful, accept the situation with grace. Focus your energy on nurturing relationships with individuals who value and appreciate your presence. prioritize your well-being and create a supportive network of connections. At the end of the day, being ignored can feel painful, but it's also an opportunity for growth. Instead of dwelling on it, focus on understanding, improving, and surrounding yourself with people who genuinely appreciate you. Sometimes, people drift away, and that's okay. Relationships evolve, and new connections are always waiting to be made. The most important thing is to stay true to yourself while learning from every experience. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever experienced being ignored? How did you handle it? Let's start a conversation. Until next time, take care and stay strong.